Yeah, no, it is.
I don't know if there's a sound in the video, but the sound is not shared.
I think I'm back. So only the audio didn't work, I think. But I hope you have been able to see the slides. I think there's also a student who joins, Carla. Yeah, so I don't know if she already has a question. Otherwise, I can tell a bit more about Maastricht or about our exchange program. So Carla, feel free to speak out or maybe to put your question in the chats or otherwise later.
Well, actually, she's not a student. So she's part of the
She's not.
staff.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Well, that's
she's from the
okay.
staff.
But
No,
maybe
no
you
problem.
have a question. That's also
No
fine.
problem. No problem. I didn't know that.
Right. Yeah. So we already introduced ourselves. So I'm Elaine, and Debbie and Ellen. They also work in the international office at the Faculty of Psychology. At Maastricht University, we work in quite a decentralized way. So each faculty or school has its own international relations office. We don't have a central international office. We do have a central visa office, housing office, scholarship office. So these matters are arranged on a central level, but the agreements are all organized by the faculties themselves. We think it's also a good way to be in direct contact with the students. It's easy for them to approach us. So we also have open office hours. We organize a lot of social events for exchange students. We have a full introduction week. So that's the whole week. They learn about the educational system. We have a problem-based learning system. So they work in small tutorial groups on real life cases. They have to give presentations, and it's also combined with lectures. But yeah, we do have like a very special educational system. And we always hear back from exchange students. Sometimes in the beginning, it's a bit hard because they have to speak out. They have to actively participate in the PBL groups. But I think they learn a lot from it by working together with other students on different cases, by giving presentations. They also have a lot of practicals that they can participate in. And also it's easy to get in contact with the professors and the tutors. So they also have some kind of personal relationship with the tutors. So it's very personal. Yeah. And at our faculty, we have about 2,000 students. So we have both bachelor and master programs and also research master programs. Our exchange program is on bachelor level. So students will be able to choose courses from our full English bachelor program. So all the courses are in English. They can take courses from the first year, the second year, the third year. There's only some courses that are not accessible, but that's only 2 courses, I think. And especially in our third year, we have a lot of interesting elective courses. So that are maybe a bit less related to psychology. So we have a wide range of courses that they can choose, especially in fall, but also in the spring semester. So students can come in fall, in spring, or for the whole year. Students who already completed their bachelor degree, they can also take a maximum of 2 master courses. So they have to ask the approval from our board of examiners. But that's an option for those who already have a bachelor degree. Yeah, and Maastricht, it's a very nice historical city. It's not very big, but it's big enough to be interesting. So it's very lively. There's a lot of students. We have a lot of different faculties. There's a lot of student associations. Also specifically for international students. We have a lot of international students here because we have a lot of English programs. So it's very vibrant. You see a lot of students around the city. They live, we don't have one big campus, but there's like student houses around the city. And it's all on biking distance. So of course, everyone has a bike here because we're in the Netherlands, but it's all close by. So that's what I wanted to add. There's also a lot of exchange students. Like I said, we organize a lot of meetings so we can get to know them and they can get to know each other. Most students have a background in psychology or social sciences or biology. And it's easy also to travel because we're on close to Belgium, Germany. Of course, they can visit the rest of the Netherlands. So so I think it's a nice location for students. I don't know if there's any questions from your side.
I have one question for the students who are going abroad to Maastricht. And can you tell me more about the accommodation? If the university has some advices or offer housing programs or something like that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And that's very important, of course. We have a lot of student houses, and it's also partly offered by the university. But it's up to the students if they want to go on campus, on these locations, or whether they prefer to find something themselves. We have one website. It's called maastrichthousing.com. So there's the private housing offer, but also the university housing offer. In the past years, it was a bit more difficult to find a room, especially in the fall semester. In spring, it tends to be easier. But we had like a big growth of students numbers. So now they're also building and renovating houses to be able to offer sufficient rooms for students. But it's important that students apply in time. So some houses are on first come, first serve basis. Yeah, so that's definitely an advice that we give them. So if they're in time, they can definitely get a room. In the end, they will all be able to find a room, but don't come to Maastricht without having a room. It's better, or maybe come way in advance. Yeah, like I said, especially in fall, because yeah, most students start in fall, also the regular students. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
and you said that,
it.
sorry, Guy. And you said
on.
that the accommodation are settled on the houses. So you don't have accommodation within the university, right?
Well, yeah, so it's not like that the university itself, well, we do have one like bigger campus. So that's close to the city center. That's like what we call like the main students campus.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of exchange students, international students especially, get a room there.
Mm-hmm.
So that is actually facilitated by the university. Yeah, but it's not enough for all students. So, you know, there's also a lot of students, especially Dutch students, but also international students who find a room, well, a private, like with a private owner. So they definitely do get help, and that's, yeah.
So I see. So you provide just part of the accommodation for the students within the campus.
Yeah, indeed.
And the
the
other students who cannot make it, who cannot get an accommodation within the campus, they can get outside on the house.
Yeah,
right?
but there's also a lot of students who prefer that. So they want to live in like a smaller student house instead of like in a bigger building, you know? So, yeah. But if they're in time, they can definitely get a room. So, but of course, the longer you wait, yeah, the more well, maybe you would have to share a room, or it gets more expensive, you know? So, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
How about the affordability for the students?
The what, sorry?
The affordability. How affordable they are for the students?
I don't know by heart, to be honest, what the monthly expenses would be. We don't charge like extra costs because, of course, you know, they will come to us within the exchange agreements. I think the rooms, yeah, it really differs, but I think that would be like 350 on average, but it can be like 500 as well per month. Yeah, It really depends. You know, if you want to share a room, then of course it's less expensive. But I think they have to count, yeah, for housing on, yeah, 300, 350 at least. But yeah, it also depends on their, you know, preferences. Yeah. I have to say the groceries have become more expensive because of the inflation. Yeah, but there's there's definitely supermarkets that have like a cheaper offer where students go. So yeah, and there's also like students. Yeah, sometimes they get a reduction also for the social events. I must say. Yeah, these are not that expensive, but I think especially the rooms, yeah, maybe the groceries, but like I said, there's really a lot of shops and supermarkets. And I think it's advisable that students do their groceries there. Yeah.
All right. I was asking about the mobility, but I think that you have already asked my question, because you said that the students can just walk to the university.
Yeah, they could walk, but most of them take a bike. But it's all, well, it's not, you know, the center is rather, well, small, I would say. So you can definitely walk. The Faculty of Psychology, so our faculty is located on the so-called health campus. So we do call it a campus. It's near the hospital, and the Faculty of Medicine and Health and Life Sciences. And all the other faculties are located in like old historical buildings in the city center. But yeah, it's definitely all on either walking or biking distance. But it's also easy to get like the public transports. We have a lot of buses, but also to travel through the Netherlands, there's like a lot of trains. So it's an easy and nice way of traveling.
I see. But this is the case to travel to a long distance, right? To another city.
No, so outside of Maastricht to Amsterdam or wherever they want to go.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I have one more question. It's more practical information. How about the courses? Our students are free to take any courses or have some pre-requirements for high-level course or something like that?
So the students that will be selected by you, so they will come to our faculty, the Faculty of Psychology and Neuroscience. We have a full English bachelor program, so they can choose whatever course combination they want. I have to say that per semester we have 3 course periods. So these are not, they will last 8 weeks. So it's rather short periods. And in each period they take 2 courses, or they can also take 1 course, but they can take a maximum of 2 courses. That's the regular workloads. So if they want to come here for the full semester, for example, so there's 3 course periods. So they can take 2 courses in period 1, 2 courses in period 2, and 1 course in period 3, because that's only in January, but they can choose to leave before Christmas or to stay after Christmas, and then there's 1 more period. So they can actually choose between like a short semester or a long semester, depending on how many courses they want to take. It would also be possible, it is a bit limited, but for them to participate in a research project. So they can work alone or together with another student on a research topic. So our students combine it with the bachelor thesis, but there were also some exchange students who were really interested in doing research, who applied for that program. And that's something that they would do throughout the semester. So it's not in a specific course period. But if they want to take regular courses, they can be sure to get in. So there's no limits. It's not, but for the elective courses, so we offer the elective courses in the 3rd year, they have to give 3 preferences. So it could be that they're not allocated to the first preference, and then they can get the 2nd or the 3rd, but they will for sure get any of the 3 preferences. But for the regular courses, they can be sure to get in. So we will make sure we have enough spots. Yeah,
thank you for your explanation. And my last question is, do you have some short programs like summer programs or winter programs?
We like as a university, we do offer different summer courses. But so far it's not possible to receive students through the exchange agreements. So we're working on that because we think it's nice. Because, for some students, it might be a bit too long, the whole semester, or maybe it's too expensive. So they may prefer to come for shorter periods. For us, it would also be possible that they just come for 1 course period, if that would be more financially feasible. So that would also be an option. It's a bit exceptional, I must say, but, we can discuss that. But the summer programs, unfortunately, they would have to pay for that. So we can't give them a reduction. But maybe for the future, and if that's the case, then we will inform our partners, of course, about that. So,
Yeah, it's good to hear it. But we work with the summer programs too. But it's the same way that you are explaining. The students must pay. Must pay the tuition. It's not be part of the bilateral exchange students. I know that.
I think we have a nice offer, but and it's also multidisciplinary. So there's some psychology courses as well, like positive psychology. But so far they would have to pay tuition fees. Indeed.
I know.
Unfortunately.
All right.
And maybe for the future, we're also working on virtual programs. So, of course, we'll communicate that once that's the case. And that would be like short programs as well. So they can have a virtual exchange experience.
All right. Now, I just have another question. besides the orientation that you guys should provide for the new students, the fresh students, do you have any kind of extra orientation for the student? When I say extra, I'm referring to kind of buddy system to help to integrate the new students to the local students, just like we do have this program here.
Yeah, so there's actually different programs. So indeed, there's like the faculty introduction. So that's something that our faculty organizes for all students, the regular and the exchange students. So that's the first week of education, basically. So they get an introduction in the educational system. And it's also partly a social event. They get some team building events as well. Then apart from that, and that's the week before, there's like an introduction week organized by Maastricht University and also by the City Hall, like to get to know Maastricht, basically. And yeah, all the facilities that there are in Maastricht. It's also cultural, sports, etc. That's voluntary. So that's something, you know, the faculty introduction is compulsory, but this introduction is voluntary for all students. And then there's also a buddy system.
But they are provided by who? By the staff or by the students?
By Maastricht University. So it's students who organize that. Yeah, it's organized by students, and they actually work on that for a whole year. So they don't study throughout that year. And there's a lot of new students who participate in that. But then apart from that Maastricht introduction and our faculty introduction, there's also, it's called the Ambassadors Program. So it's like a buddy program or a mentor program. And they can just register for that. They don't need to pay anything. And they will be like allocated to a mentor. And there will be like mentor groups. And the mentors will be there if they have any questions. And it's a bit easier because some students are a bit hesitant to ask questions to staff members, but it's easier to ask a mentor, like a student, you know. So, so they will do things together and they will be available throughout the semester, you know, if there's any problems, and they can direct them, you know, to, I don't know, to the academic advisors, to psychologists or whatever. Yeah, so that, and apart from that, there's also the International Student Network. So that's like, yeah, a network that exists throughout the Netherlands, throughout Europe, actually. And there's a lot of active students who organize all kinds of events at the beginning in the first week. But also throughout the year. It's like volunteer projects, how to get a bike, for example. So they will help with that, like practical things. Yeah, so I would say there's like a quite big support system. And we also inform students about that, you know, so they're not alone, you know, they get to know other people. And if they have any questions, it's easy for them to reach someone. So, yeah.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And because of Corona, there's even more, you know, activities and support systems. So yeah.
All right.
And we also have like the mental health weeks. So yeah, it's actually organized by our faculty and another faculty. And there's a lot of sessions for students, like about well-being and yeah, doing yoga or, you know, these kind of things. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And talking about Corona, how are you guys coping with this?
Sorry, my phone is on. Yeah, well, fortunately, we moved totally back to physical education. Well, not totally. Well, let's put it this way. We have physical education, but students are still allowed, you know, if they're ill or, you know, for whatever reason, they cannot come to campus, it's okay. They can also follow it online. So it's basically hybrid. Unless the whole group can be here, then yeah, they will all be physically here. But like the mentor meetings or the, you know, the meetings with staff members, also some practicals, they're totally physical. But I think we're kind of, well, familiar now with the hybrid system and also with the online system. So we really hope that we don't have to return to online education. And of course, hybrid education, it's not always perfect, you know, because there's basically two groups, like one physical group, one online group. But Yeah, I think also hearing back from the exchange students, because we evaluate the exchange program, we talk to all of them, and they actually liked it. So yeah, so for the moment it's they can come to campus if they can. If they can't, they can also follow education online. So yeah. Oh, I don't hear you anymore.
Thank you very much. That's good to know.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
And we think that things get better day in, day out.
It seems to
Down
get
there,
better.
yeah.
Of course, we have to, well, you never know, but yeah, and all the precautionary measures are lifted at the moment. So yeah, it's like before Corona, but of course you sometimes notice that people prefer to like hold a distance, but that's okay. Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. I don't know if there's still any other questions.
Yes, I have one question regarding for the students. The classes are all taught in English, right? So,
yeah. Yeah.
And what level is required for students?
Sorry, what the requirements is for?
Yeah, it's required B1, B2.
Yeah. Well, we don't ask for certificates. So we think, yeah, it's also the responsibility of the students and the host institutions, you know, that they make sure that they have, well, a good level. We definitely recommend that they have a level of B2 in order to be able, you know, to participate and to speak out and also to feel comfortable. Yeah, so yeah, we think it's also their responsibility, but of course, if they have any questions about it or they are a bit like afraid, am I gonna manage? They can always reach out and we can try to advise them. Yeah, because I can imagine if it's not like their native language and maybe they're also not used to speaking out, then yeah, it can be a bit of an obstacle. But yeah, we would say at least B2, yeah.
Has another question. Thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome.
Very much for the presentation.
Yeah, and if students have any questions, they can definitely email us and we can even schedule like an online meeting with them. So we're always welcome, you know, to help them.
Thank you for remembering that. Yes, if after we'll make it available the recording for the students, and if they have any questions, so we can give you your email so they can ask questions.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.